Ashish Vij and his wife are taking stock. They say their family business stands at a critical juncture. For decades, they've exported home and bath furnishings to America, with 80% of their business focused on that market. But now business in the US is unraveling for the entire Indian textile industry.
The negotiation with our import buyers in US is already 12 to 15%. We're giving that kind of discount to make do for the tariff situation. So, let alone making margins, it's, like I said, it's about survival.
The US is the largest market for Indian textiles, and the tariffs have meant the labor-intensive industry is hanging by a thread. Ashish says textile companies have had to lay off workers. His company let 30% of its staff go to stay viable, and factories are now running at just over a third of full capacity. Other Asian economies are now flooding the American market with products that face much lower tariffs. To survive, Indian exporters are now pivoting to newer markets from Europe to East Asia, with Ashish saying his company has also set its sights on South Africa.
Understanding the South African market, their regional taste, that will be very important. I have not done that business almost 10 years now, but it will not be very hard, because if you do this with one market, you can replicate that in another.
Trade was in focus when Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi met South African President Cyril Ramaphosa at the sidelines of the G20 summit in Johannesburg. South Africa too is reeling from the impact of high tariffs imposed by the US government, and as ties with America sour, experts say expanded cooperation between India and South Africa is a win-win for both sides. Bilateral trade is currently driven by automobiles, heavy machinery and pharmaceuticals, with exporters saying the textile sector holds immense untapped potential. While India should pursue new markets, it should not abandon efforts to secure a trade deal with the US. Talks have stalled over Washington's push to have New Delhi open up key sectors like agriculture and dairy, and following President Trump's recent comments repeatedly criticizing India for its purchase of Russian oil.
And in any negotiations, there is always some kind of a give and take, etc. But we have not yet reached that stage where there will be an agreement tomorrow. But I believe a lot of ground has been covered. If this trade agreement happens, certainly it will have a very positive impact on India-US relations.
And it would also have a major impact on the competitiveness of companies like Ashish's. But textile exporters say Trump's tariffs have changed the very fabric of this industry. Businesses are no longer going to be over-reliant on exports to one country, and the only way to survive will be to weave in more diversity into the markets they trade in. Neha Punya, SABC News, New Delhi.